on a 5-game winning streak. We welcome you inside Gersten Pavilion. That's the Professor Gary Craig. I'm Brendan Craig. We'll be joined by the third member of our team, Maddie Considine, at halftime. And before we get started, we want to get to the things that are bigger than basketball and the devastating wildfires that have been ravaging the region here in Los Angeles. For all those suffering, grieving, rebuilding, or and we want to extend our love and strength to all of those still working to get back to some sense of normalcy. We're all with you here on the Bluff.
Absolutely. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody, and we hope that this game gives a chance for a little bit of a break from everything that's been going on.
So let's jump into this game. Brought to you by University Credit Union, the official financial partner of LMU Athletics. You've got a team in LMU that's still in search of their first conference win, and a juggernaut in Gonzaga who, much maybe to the dismay of the rest of the conference, has clearly found their footing.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, they're an incredibly strong team, and after a rocky start in the non-conference season, they've definitely found their groove.
And a big part of that is longtime Zag, Yvonne Ejim. She's one of our UCU players to watch.
Yeah, Yvonne Ejim is a 6'1", 50-year senior forward from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Her accolades are too numerous to mention here, but she's leading the team in scoring and rebounding.
And for the Lions, it was exactly a year ago today against this same Zags team that LMU's Maya Hernandez made her presence known.
Yeah, Maya Hernandez is a 6-foot sophomore forward from San Jose, California. She's first or second on the team in most key categories.
LMU looking for the upset of the century, literally. We'll explain that and so much more next here on ESPN+.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
Gersten Pavilion, Zags and Lions getting set to meet for the Lions' first home matchup in 2025. Surely a battle each and every year, one the Lions have not come out on top of in the last 33 meetings. Will today be different? We'll find out momentarily. Yvonne Ejim, Carly Hydra tip it away, and the Zags come down with it to start things off, and we'll take a look at our starting lineups.
Right away you can see Maya Hernandez draws the assignment of guarding Yvonne Ejim.
Zags working right to left in the road blue uniforms. We take a look at our starting lineups. Esther Little in for the second straight game with the absence of Mott Hybens, Claire O'Connor, Inez Betancourt, Allie Turner, and Yvonne Ejim. Lions working left to right in the gray uniforms, and we'll take a look at their starting lineup. Brandy Williams, Nadia Evans, Carly Hydra, Zawadi Ogat, and Maya Hernandez. Nothing new there for the Lions. Same five they've been rolling with since really the middle of non-conference. Lions with an early 2-0 lead as Little skies into the paint and gets the bucket to fall. 2-2 here, just a minute in.
Carly Hydra's guarding Little. It's going to be a tough assignment for her. She's used to playing a little more outside than inside.
Evans pulls up for the three, this one off the iron. And we're on record watch for Nadia Evans. 1 assist away from her 300th assist in her career and 34 points from 1,000 career points. And not just for the Lions, Yvonne Ejim, 7 rebounds away from the all-time record at Gonzaga. Pretty remarkable. Also 111 points away. If we see that today, Gary, I mean, we're talking astronomical records being broken, not just all-time scoring at Gonzaga.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to see that today, but
never say never.
She's going to get the record before the season is over.
The people want to see it. Maybe we'll get to see it, all right?
So what we have to look for, though, is Maya Hernandez not picking up fouls guarding Ejim. Tough assignment for sure.
Little kick back out. 3 on the way from Turner. Rims in and out. Ejim, the rebound, back up and in.
And Brendan, that's a tough one for the Lions. They can't give up offensive rebounds.
Four to 2 here, 7:50 to go in this first quarter. Brendan and Gary Craig courtside in Gersten Pavilion. Lions getting back to some home action after a couple postponed games due to the wildfires. Brandy Williams shot off the iron. Maya Hernandez looking for a late rebound opportunity, not going to get it. You talked about the tough assignment that Maya has on Yvonne Ejim. You see a 3 on the way from Connor. It's going to rim out. Esther Little, the easy board. Kick back out. Turner drives inside. Oh, fakes the pass and gets it to the cup. She's the leader in 3 points made in the conference, but she can do it on the inside as well.
Well, what you noticed there, Brendan, was that's 2 consecutive possessions where second chance opportunities led to points for Gonzaga.
Gonzaga with the second best offense in the conference. On the contrary, last in defense. They allow the most points on average out of anyone in the WCC. As we say that, Betancourt gets a strip in on Ogat. And we'll see the first subs of the game. Taylor Dalton coming into the game wearing number 10 in blue, joined by McKinley Dallin. And Taylor Dalton, familiar name. New place, though. The former St. Mary's guard played significant time up in Moraga. You're going to blow a whistle. It's going to be offensive foul on Hyder.
So, Brendan, we saw Maya Hernandez go to the bench, which means somebody else is going to have to take the assignment of guarding Ejim, which is a tough one. And, I think the Zags are likely to try an inside-out type of thing because Ejim's also a good passer out of the post.
Looks like it's going to be Hyder with the assignment.
Hyder already has 1 foul, so she can't get another one here. Not this early.
Betancourt, the UConn transfer, working the offense here with 10 on the shot clock. It's Ejim, high post. That shot rims out. Williams snags a board.
She can hit that shot, but I think the Lions will settle for that rather than her doing damage on the inside.
Ogat dump inside to Hyder. She goes up and has her shot blocked from behind by Dallin. Here comes Taylor Dalton, veteran player, 119 games up in Moraga with St. Mary's, making her way up to Spokane for one last year. Ejim around the block and in.
That's what I was just talking about, Brendan. She's so effective down low. Lions would be happy to have her shooting 15 and out rather than 2.
Coast to coast goes. Evans draws the foul. Into the line she goes. As the Lions go, well, I should say as Nadia Evans goes, so do the Lions.
And Brendan, we saw that at the end of the Portland game. Nadia Evans kind of took it on her shoulders. Looks like she was determined to do the same thing on that play.
That's a player that's felt a lot of pressure this season coming in. As we get set to take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by Raising Cane's.
Yeah, for the Lions, they've got to protect the ball. Can't afford to give out turnovers. And I think they have to outwork Gonzaga. Gonzaga is a deeper bench, probably more talented position by position. So the Lions need to bring the energy and outwork them.
Bree Sallenbein into the game for the Zags. Maya Hernandez snags that board. Here come the Lions, down by 3.
And it was great defense by Maya Hernandez.
Evans pull up 2. This one rims out.
So I want Nadia Evans to pick her spots where she has to take things over in the set offense. Look for passes, make the defense work.
Evans with all 5 points so far for the Lions. Dallin shot off the mark. Here's a board from Ejim.
Looked like Ejim pushed Maya Hernandez, but was able to get away with it.
Another board for Ejim, back up. Third chance opportunity, gets it to go.
So right now, the offensive glass hurting the Lions. 4 offensive rebounds for Gonzaga.
Evans again. Why not?
Hey, Brendan, I think she's trying to get those 33 points she needs to hit 1,000?
34 points for 1,000 as we see the 3 on the other end. Holy smokes. Gonzaga first in the WCC in 3-point percentage, 25th nationally, and Allie Turner's been a huge part of that.
Yeah, quite strong performance from Turner all season.
Maya Hernandez pulls up for the mid-range. Sallenbein inside, offensive foul on the receiving end of that truck.
Really putting her body on the line, as Sidrud always does, Brendan.
We come to the break. Lions only down by 3. Zags looking to push on. More action coming up next on ESPN+. Taking a look at Coach Erica Hughes in her 4th season, you know that she's she's working for her money right now. This Lions team is in a tough place with injuries, an injury-riddled bench. Look at the end right now. 3 Lions in white jackets, and that's not even all that's out right now. She's having to scrounge up a lineup that she never expected to have to use at this point in the season.
Absolutely, and the record doesn't reflect what this team is capable of. They're trying to adjust to those losses and still coming out hard. They've got 4 home games in the next 8 days, Brendan. Chance to pick up a win.
You don't often see a team go from a 6-game winning streak to a 7-game losing skid, but that's where the Lions are at right now, and it coincides exactly in time with so many injuries that they've had.
So, Brendan, Yvonne Ejim is taking a break right now. Opportunity for the Lions to capitalize. They aren't able to on that first offensive possession.
And with the absence of Mott Hybens down low, it leaves a hole in the Gonzaga bench where they'd normally be able to fill in with Ejim out. Allie Turner, the freshman point guard, swings it over. There goes Sallenbein, another 3. This one's short. Another offensive board for the Zags.
Yeah, and there's just no way Nadia Evans can out-rebound Esther Little down low.
Dalton to Dallin. Shots off the mark, another O board almost. Yes, it will be. Little takes a shot to the face. Gets back up as Dalton puts home the bucket. Little looks all right.
But Brendan, the Lions are just getting crushed on the offensive glass right now. Second chance points, 8 points in the paint, a 10-point advantage for Gonzaga.
Sallenbein and Turner looking to push the floor the other way. 3 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Sallenbein looks off the 3 with Sitterer jumping into contest. Shot clock winding down and a miscommunication between Dalton and Little.
But a good defensive possession by the Lions. Nadia Evans having to work really hard against Dallin, giving up substantial size to the 6-foot Dallin. Nadia Evans is only about 5'4", so 5'6", so she's definitely giving away some height.
Claire O'Connor and Inesh Betancourt back in the game for the Zags. Dalton will take a seat along with Turner.
Zags switch to a zone defense. Lions going to have to adjust.
Here goes Evans, another chance fouled on the shot. She'll go to the line.
So Brendan, Sallenbein's at the top of that zone defense. Definitely disruptive of Nadia Evans.
Yeah, massive height advantage for Sallenbein. Just gets in a little bit late, catches her on the arm there, and she'll take a seat and head to the bench. That'll bring Yvonne Ejim back in the game, and we'll see the first of Cristobal Osorobo, the freshman out of Spain.
We'll see if the Zags continue in that zone defense now that Ejim's back in, or if they go back to the man-to-man.
Evans first is good.
Brent, Nadia Evans 9, LMU Lions 11.
Second one good as well. Double digits in the first quarter for Nadia Evans. We've seen this a lot of times, though, Gary. One player really shows out in the first half for the Lions, just cannot replicate it in the second half, and they lose their momentum.
Well, and part of what that I think is attributable to is fatigue, right? The Lions don't have a deep bench, so they end up getting, a lot of minutes in the first half. Second half tend to get a little bit drained, and we saw in that one what I was worried about. Maya Hernandez picking up a foul on Yvonne Ejim. Didn't seem like a lot of contact, but certainly similar to the foul they called on Sallenbein on the other end.
And let's take a look at our Raising Cane's keys to the game for the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
So pressure defense has been the Lions' Achilles heel. So I expect to see some of that from the Zags, even though they haven't done it full court yet. And controlling the glass, boy, they have been absolutely dominating. They're 11 rebounds to 3 for the Lions.
Ejim 2 for 2 from the line. Puts back to a 5-point lead for the Zags, and they come out with a little bit of full court pressure, not much. Looking for that half-court trap.
Maybe they saw the key to the game, putting on the defensive pressure.
Yeah. I'm sure they did.
I bet they just had a scouting report. Randy's going to knock that down, Brendan. Wishful thinking.
He tried.
We've seen her just be a lights-out shooter.
Oh, absolutely. She struggled in that last game at Pacific. Still had some buckets, but not the lights-out shooter we're used to seeing from Brandy Williams. Again, the way she's had to go be the secondary ball handler really has limited her ability to just catch and shoot, which she's so known for.
So, Brendan, that was a play that was a 50-50 ball. both teams going for it. Happens to be possession Lions, but that was one of my keys for the Lions was to outwork Gonzaga. They cannot allow Gonzaga to get those 50-50 balls.
Alternating possession arrow going the Lions' way right now. 1:31 to go in this first quarter. Lions have really struggled when full court pressure has been put on them. Able to break it this time. We'll see if that continues the rest of the game. Hernandez inside, Little. Working through Ejim, and Little, no foul called, lots of contact. Here come the Zags.
Hard fall for Hernandez, but she gets right up and tries to help out down low on Ejim, guarded by Hydra.
Betancourt, what a move to the lane. Good board by Maya Hernandez.
And that's what we're going to have to see all game. She has to get the rebounds. Maya Hernandez looks like she might be a little bit gassed.
And as you mentioned, right now, really no safety valve when Maya Hernandez needs a breather. You got Ava Toon on the bench, but not a true big down low. It's Maya Hernandez and really Maya Hernandez for this Lions squad. It's the cross-court pass from Nadia Evans. Ill-advised, and Esther Little going coast to coast now.
It's tempting, but you just can't do it.
Bodies flying everywhere. Hydra took a fall. Ejim took a fall. They're going to call the foul on Ejim and send it back the Lions' way.
Lions fortunate on that one. Hydra made a defensive effort, didn't get called for a foul, and then Ejim just comes in and goes over the back on Brandy Williams. And just as you mentioned, Brendan, Ava Toon in the game.
So yeah, we're going to see Toon try to fill some of those minutes when Hernandez needs it, but again, and she said it herself, she's not a true 4 or 5. That's just not the position that she has played really in her entire life, but she's thrust into it now, and she's done a good job for them.
Yeah, she's a shooter, and there it is.
Right on cue, Ava Toon knocking it down from the outside. 17-15. Lions within 2, and Zags with a chance for the final shot in this first quarter.
Ava Toon just has to hold up down low with Little or Ejim, whoever she gets matched up against.
Here goes Ejim in the paint, pulls up. Not there, Little. Not going to get it off in time, and it sends us into the break. 17-15, Lions. A very strong first quarter and a manageable deficit as we head to the second. All the action coming up next on ESPN. Back here on the Bluff, Lions after one, only trailing by 2, 17-15 against the juggernaut in the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Taking a look at the Gonzaga bench.
Brendan, second quarter has been a struggle for the Lions in a number of these losses. See if they can hold this energy up for the entire second.
Ejim, Turner, O'Connor, Little, and Dalton on the floor for the Zags as O'Connor loses the handle on that one. Dalton, who historically shot well in his gym, dumps it off to Turner, and she knocks one down from the outside.
And Turner's been a very strong three-point shooter all season long. No surprise to see her knock one down.
And a freshman at that. I mean, you haven't seen a lot of freshmen really get used in this Zags program in the last 6 years that we've been here. And Coach Lisa Fortier talked about that as well in the Points in the Paint podcast. As Siderud throws up a three, looking to answer, cannot there. And this year, Turner's been thrust into the starting point guard role with the Trong sisters both leaving as Turner on cue knocks down another one.
Someone failed to pick her up. Ejim looks a little sore. I don't know if she took some contact and we didn't see it. Those two quick threes by Turner extended this lead to 8.
We'll step aside, 23-15. More coming up next. Back here in the second quarter, big thank you to our officiating crew led by Kenneth Nash, Johnny Mendez, and Maggie DeWall. They're reviewing a couple things over there, folks. First, we're going to look at the three-pointer as Allie Turner had a couple here in the last couple minutes, back-to-back ones, extended this Zags lead big time. And you see there down low the shot that Yvonne Ejim took might have been inadvertent, but either way it was unobserved by the officiating crew, and Coach Lisa Fortier expressed the desire for them to take a look at that as Yvonne Ejim came up the court in a lot of pain.
Well, yeah, I noticed that very much at the end of that possession when they had called the timeout. I was focusing on Turner, who was completely unguarded, had just knocked down a three on the prior possession, and then was unguarded. And Coach Hughes clearly frustrated that someone missed a defensive assignment. On the other end, obviously we don't want Yvonne Ejim to be hurt. She's an incredible player. It did, from a little bit I could see on that replay, look like some maybe incidental contact. Maybe she got the wind knocked out of her. I don't expect there to be anything coming out of this, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, we will find out. From the looks of it, we're no officials. We're not the ones making the call. It looked like the Allie Turner three will stand as called a three-pointer. As far as the unobserved contact against Yvonne Ejim, we'll take a look. Take a look here again, folks. Allie Turner, top of your screen. We'll take the three first. Then down low, watch Yvonne Ejim and Amelie Siderud. Yeah, it looks like Ejim took a shot as she was coming down, maybe. Again.
Well, it's funny, Brendan. I didn't see that. I saw later is where I said I didn't see contact. It did look like Siderud might have turned a little bit, so there could be a foul call. But since they didn't call it in real time, wouldn't it have to be considered an intentional foul now for them to do something on the review?
Pretty much. That's what they're looking for. They're not going to be able to just call a, as far as I'm concerned, no common foul on the play. It would be intentional on Siderud if that's where we land. And maybe because the arms did come extended off of the body of Siderud, they're going to be able to call that foul. We'll find out shortly.
Well, it's not what the Lions would need, because it would send the Zags to the line for some more points to extend the lead that they added 6 points to in the first minute of play in the second quarter.
Taking a look at head coach Lisa Fortier, the incomparable Lisa Fortier, the reigning Kathy Delaney-Smith Coach of the Year, 6-time WCC Coach of the Year, and really this season we talk about the things bigger than basketball. What Lisa Fortier has gone through, and it started last season, the diagnosis of breast cancer. We'll get back to that story in just a moment as Johnny Mendez comes to give us the all right, three-point shot is good. No upgraded foul on Amelie Siderud. Let's get back to Lisa Fortier. You're looking at now. Diagnosed with breast cancer around February of last year during that 2023-2024 season. Battled it all off-season. Really, I think there were a lot of questions around the conference on whether we'd be able to see her on the sideline. And she spoke to Ann Schatz and Mary Murphy on the Points in the Paint podcast. And they asked her about that. They said, was there a point where you thought maybe you weren't going to come back? And she very quickly said no. She said, with Ejim and the upperclassmen who committed to return, the fact that she was able to tolerate the treatment better than some, and wanting to focus in on what she loves, and that's coaching and being with this Zags program, and it's helped her get to where she is now, and still battling, of course, and we're all with Lisa Fortier. It's a battle on the court, but we're all one off the court, and it's really incredible to see what she's been able to do and continue to do through her fight with breast cancer.
Absolutely, Brendan. That's well said. And, you know, I don't think the Zags need motivation, but if they did, to see their coach come through that difficult process and be out there for them every day, I think it encourages them to give their all every day. And the Lions are going to need to give their all right now, Brendan.
Yeah,
things are getting out of hand.
25-15. This is what we typically see against the Zags team, particularly here in this building. And you said it earlier during pregame. You add Taylor Dalton to this. She typically plays well in this building. Brandy Williams, circus shot up and in. Lions needed that bucket, and they needed it bad.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Brandy Williams may have needed to just see the ball go through the net. Struggled the last game. That might get her going. And if that can happen, it'll be a big bonus for the Lions as they try and climb back in this one.
Allie Turner looking for more points, and she's got them.
Well, you see why she's playing as a freshman. Other thing to notice, Brendan, is Esther Little is getting the defensive assignment on Nadia Evans.
Yeah, listed as a guard, a big guard at that, as she steps right into the contact of Zawadi Ogat, and they call a foul on Ogat after the rebound.
Let me back up. That was on the prior possession. Then they switched to a zone, so Esther Little went back. But we've seen this happen. Teams are putting very agile, big, long players on Nadia Evans because she's so proficient passing, getting the ball to open players, that they're trying to make it harder for her to do that.
Evans still in search of that one assist to get to the number 300. 10 points for her. All those came in that first quarter. Been quiet so far. Maybe the Zags have locked her down like we've seen so many teams do this season.
And Brendan, we've been watching Yvonne Ejim's rebound total. We see a foul there by Dahlin, but Esther Little already has 7 rebounds in this game, and so she's filling in for the Zags, who are down a big, and she's doing quite a good job in the paint.
Zags been averaging just about 39 rebounds a game and out-rebounding opponents by 8.5. Really, the rebounding margin is the important one to look at there.
Well, the zone defense is back. See if the Lions can break it.
Hernandez double teamed. Evans is looking for a catch and shoot. She'll hold it instead and fire right into the hands of Ogot. Call it an assist? I'm not sure. We'll have to find out.
Well, that would be big if it were an assist, so we got to see how they score it. I don't think they will score it as an assist.
No, they're going to call it a missed three-pointer and a rebound by Zawadi Ogot. One could argue. It's Yvonne Egypt, great to see. She's back in the game. Looks like she did just get the wind knocked out of her, so that's a positive, and she's still talking to Kenneth Nash about what happened on the other end. And Kenneth Nash says, I know.
Lions better be careful, though, because a fired-up Egypt is the last thing they need. She was already doing a tremendous job without being particularly fired up.
Catch fired, no. On the three, but a foul.
I think that might be on Egypt, which would be 2 if it were.
It is. Second personal, third team foul here in the quarter. Fouls racking up quickly for the Zags. 6:40 to go. Lions at the line now, and Brandy Williams is there for 3.
Brendan, there's one surefire way to defend Yvonne Egypt, and that's to have her on the bench. So picking up those fouls, if the Lions could somehow get a third on her and have her sit, that would be big. Now, knowing Yvonne Egypt from having watched her play many seasons, I think she's very capable of avoiding that foul.
You got your top 2 3-point shooters on the floor in the conference as well, in Allie Turner and Brandy Williams, both in 3-pointers made per game and 3-point percentage.
Well, Brandy Williams is also a good free throw shooter, and she knocks all 3 down. Very big for the Lions to get this back down to 5.
You got to take the points that are handed to you. Lions with a prime opportunity there, and Brandy Williams capitalizes. Lions down by 5 now. Allie Turner, the freshman point guard, into the veteran Egypt.
Good defense there by the Lions, not allowing anything easy.
Turner might have stepped out there and gotten away with one. Sallenbein fires from the other side, rattles off the iron, and they're going to call a foul.
Who was that on, Okai? It's unfortunate because it's one of the rare times the Lions were able to take care of the defensive glass, but maybe there was an advantage because of the foul. I couldn't see it.
Looks like they're saying Ogot might have wrapped her up.
That's 2 on Ogot.
And she'll head to the bench for Allison Clark. Over the high post, it goes to Egypt. Catch fire. This one no good as well. Allie Turner with a rare miss.
And a good contest by Allison Clark. You cannot give Turner open looks at threes.
Can't give Brandy Williams one either. This one not going to fall.
Unfortunate that she didn't knock that down.
Turner wanted to push the pace the other way, stopped up in transition by Hyder.
Look at Evans trying to deal with Yvonne Egypt in the post. Oh, there was a definite push-off by Egypt, not called by the refs. They're letting them play down low.
A little bit of sloppy passing here from the Zags on this possession, and Turner, calm, cool, collected, as Coach 48 described her, slows things down. 5 on the shot clock. Zags got to go. Here goes Turner into the paint, dumps one off, and it falls short. Esther Little, the O board, coughs it up and into the hands of Clark.
Strong effort by Hyder to make it hard for Little to collect that rebound.
Evans backing down Turner. Fadeaway 2 is pretty. What a shot from Nadia Evans.
That was a thing of beauty, the way that just dropped into the net.
3-point game, 1 possession here between the Lions and the Zags.
Nadia Evans has 12 points to lead all scorers.
Gersten Pavilion comes alive. Defense chance coming from the crowd here in LA.
And Nadia Evans trying to guard the bigger Sallenbein.
Offensive foul drawn by Nadia Evans. Sallenbein.
Coach Fortier is going to have some concerns about the fouls.
14 foul, 3rd personal on Sallenbein, and when you're short bigs already, that is going to be a tough spot to put the Zags in. Egypt and Sallenbein both head to the bench. O'Connor and Betancourt back in.
Got to give the Lions a lot of credit, right? This quarter started off disastrously with those 2 threes by Turner. Lions down 10 points, They've climbed back in, down by 3, still have to play strong in this remaining half of the quarter.
Lions with a chance to draw it within 1 or tie things up, 27-24.
Like to see the Lions get into Maya Hernandez without Ejim down low to guard her.
Here goes Evans. Kick back. Williams wide open.
I mean, those were shots, Brendan, that she could not miss earlier in the non-conference and even in conference play.
And she claps her hands as she goes back down the court, clearly frustrated with herself. Hernandez and Dowling get tied up. Alternating possession arrow going the Lions' direction.
Brendan, that was absolutely necessary because the Lions had just been getting destroyed on the offensive glass.
That's your little good, strong drive, but a good contest by Carly Hydra. So many times this season we've seen the Lions called for letting the hands down, not keeping them straight up, and that time a great job by Hydra. Sky high with it for the 6'3" guard.
So the zone defense for the Zags. See if the Lions can find something to get through it.
Evans wanted that 3. Williams again wide open. Can't convert.
If even half of those shots she's taken had gone in, the Lions would be in the lead.
Lions keeping it toe-to-toe with this Gonzaga team. Certainly short-handed, but the Lions no different. Zags looking for their 34th straight win over the Lions, and boy, the Lions looking for what we describe as the upset of the century. Dowling's shot falls short, gets her own board.
Those second chance opportunities have been hard for the Lions.
Betancourt will hold up top. Drives down Broadway now, stops up.
Good defense by the Lions.
Turner kicks it out. Betancourt way out there. And a shot clock violation on the Zags.
Brendan, the defensive energy by the Lions is much more than I've seen in the last couple games. And we talked about that in the beginning. One of the keys was to outwork Gonzaga. They are giving it their all on the defensive end. They need to catch some breaks on the offensive end. We'll see if they can do it on this possession.
And the Lions holding the Zags scoreless in the last 4:52, 7-0 run for this LMU team over the last 4 minutes. Well, we've seen how the tables can turn so quickly. Can the Lions keep the pressure on? Fade away from Evans. That falls right into the hands of Dalton.
Yeah, very tough shot, fading away with the outstretched arm. Trying to get over that is hard. Again, the Zags without Yvonne Ejim on this play.
Betancourt, what a move. That's a veteran move right there.
It was, and she really took Maya Hernandez. Maya Hernandez much more comfortable in the paint than outside.
Allison Clark 3 is good. 29-27, AC 3 knocking one down.
Big 3 for the freshman, looking to get her offense going. We've seen her explode in a game earlier this season here in Gersten.
Today would be the day if she's going to have another one of those. Dalton gets a step on Hernandez. Good help from the Lions. Blocks called on Clark down low, though.
I don't want to see Taylor Dalton get going. I've seen it too many times when she was with St. Mary's.
Brandy Williams back in the game, as well as Osorobo.
Taylor Dalton has such an effective outside shot that you got to close out on her, but if you do, you're susceptible to drive, and that's what Dalton did.
And Dalton really just ramping back up. Didn't start play for the Zags after an injury until December 19th, so just kind of getting footing in this lineup. Right when the Zags started to sort of figure things out as a team, they've got Dalton thrust in, and certainly that's going to help things when you got a veteran guard in Taylor Dalton.
So this is the key 2 minutes for the Lions. They're down 3. They need to stay close going into halftime.
Lions feed it inside to Hernandez. Kick right back out. Nadia Evans, not there.
That's the right look. Inside out play. Found the open shooter. Just didn't knock it down.
Yvonne Ejim still on the bench for the Zags. Bencourt, Turner, Dalton, and Osorobo.
With those 2 fouls, they don't want Ejim to get a third before halftime.
Dalton mid-range J rims out. Maya Hernandez aboard.
Big board for Hernandez. That's her 5th.
Here goes Brandy Williams. Cannot get it started there. Offensive board. Back up and in.
So that would have been Evans' 300th assist, but Williams is able to recover it and score. Lions down 1.
And they seem to have credited her with an assist at some point. Not sure if they did that during a timeout, but either way, 300 assists for Nadia Evans in her playing career. Good steal. Maya Hernandez gets a hand in there. Body's hitting the floor. Those are those 50-50 balls you talked about.
That one goes to the Zags.
30-29, 1 point lead for the Zags. And they're going to get bailed out by a late foul call.
That's a tough call. Good defense by Evans. I think she got her with the body. So that's a call you can see coming because she was getting her hip out in front. So it wasn't a lot of contact, but enough to draw the call.
Esther Little back on the floor for the final 35 seconds. Osorobo goes to take a seat. Maya Hernandez to the bench as well.
So Evans needs to stick with Dalton, and Williams needs to stick with Turner. No easy threes in this 22nd possession the Zags have.
Ogot, the only Lion with multiple fouls. Salenbein with 3 on the Zags side. Turner's shot falls short. Dahlin cleans it up and puts it home.
These Zags are fundamentally sound, Brendan. You cannot make mistakes.
32-29. Got to be the closest the Lions have had at the half here in Gersten in the Coach Hughes era. They'll look to hold for the final shot. Draw it within 1 or maybe even send it to the half tied. 4 seconds from the logo. Oh my!
That's Nadia Evans. In case you don't know who she is, she just told you.
Wow, wow, wow.
Logo 3, nothing but net.
As Nadia Evans goes, so do the Lions, and they head into the locker room tied up at 32. A massive first half from Evans with 15 points.
Brendan, we'll have a lot to break down at halftime. So many things to talk about, and the heart of these Lions is the biggest one right now.
Zags come into this one on a 5-game winning streak, and LMU in search of their first conference win on a 7-game losing skid, and they're holding the preseason #1 team in the conference to a knotted up score at the half, 32-all. As Coach Hughes meets with her staff, and we wait to speak with her, our Maddie Considine, in just a moment.
Brendan, it's amazing to me that the Lions could be out-rebounded 23-10 and be tied up. And it's because they're able to do stuff on the defensive end and limit the turnovers.
And Coach Hughes is with our Maddie Considine now. We'll send it over to her.
Hello, I'm here with head coach Erica Hughes, coach Nadia Evans. We've got to talk about her. Can you talk about her leadership on this team?
Yeah, I think we've been talking with Nadia for a couple weeks. I think she's a little bit of that swag that she had. We've talked a lot about it. Her teammates have given her a lot of confidence, and right now she's sitting, which is a good thing for us.
A tied game going into the second half. What adjustments need to be made to end up on top?
We have to win 50-50 balls. This group has to be tough. To take a game like this from a great program like Gonzaga, you have to win every 50-50 ball. Right now we're losing on the glass. They have more shot attempts than us, and we got to be able to control that if we want to come out with a win.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck with the rest of the game. Let's send it back to Brendan and Gary.
Thank you, Maddie. You heard it there from Coach. We'll talk about it all coming up here at the half. Knotted up at 32, Zags and Lions. Back here at the half, 32-all. Lions keeping their own with this Gonzaga Bulldogs team, and the stats tell a big part of it. And something I keep hearing at halftime from everyone is, we could get a few rebounds. We might be in a really good spot here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's really pretty even until you get to the rebounding category, and the Lions just getting out-rebounded by a wide margin. Points in the paint was worse earlier on, so the Lions were able to get some points in the paint. I think it's going to really come down now to the Lions' ability to keep that energy up on the defensive end. I am certain that there was a strong conversation in the Gonzaga locker room, and they're going to come very hard in this third quarter. Wouldn't be surprised if they up the defensive pressure. Lions are going to need to handle it, and they got to find someone else who can help with the scoring so Nadia Evans doesn't have to do it all.
We also saw Ejim on the bench for more minutes than I would have expected to see her on the bench in that first half. Will she play more time? Will the Lions be able to handle her pressure through the last 20 minutes? Because certainly she's going to bring it for all of this second half.
And, Brendan, that will completely depend on whether she's in foul trouble. Those 2 fouls early in the game put her on the bench. If she's able to stay out of foul trouble, she'll be out there longer, and that's going to be a tough job for particularly Maya Hernandez to handle that without getting in foul trouble herself.
This is new water that this Gonzaga Bulldogs team is in, obviously with 5 straight wins, but close, narrow wins, beating Portland by 1, beating Washington State by 8, handled Santa Clara with ease, a 5-point win at Portland, and then taking down Pepperdine by over 20. But, I mean, they've had more losses this season alone than I might have seen in the entire 6 years I've been doing broadcasts here at LMU. The Zags just really never lost, and this year they're facing some new territory, and they're fighting through it, and led by Yvonne Ejim, but with players like Allie Turner on the floor, they're making their way, and they're finding their footing, and they're finding it fast.
They are, and I expect to see a very motivated Gonzaga team in this second half, but the Lions need to keep up that energy for the full 40 minutes. They have a shot here to do something pretty special. See if they can take advantage of it.
33 straight victories for this Gonzaga team over this LMU team. That dates back to 2008. Second half underway. Zags work left to right in the blue. It's Turner. Ejim fires one from the mid-range. Long 2. Buries it immediately.
Well, great shot by Ejim, but all game long the Lions will let her do that instead of going to work down low.
Rounding out the second half lineup, Esther Little, Ines Betancourt, and Clara O'Connor. For the Lions, Evans, Hyger, Hernandez, Ogot, and Williams. Here goes Ogot into the paint, stripped by Turner. That'll trickle out of bounds and stay Lion basketball.
Only have 8 seconds left on the shot clock, so the Lions are going to have to get into their action quickly off the inbound. Someone has to take it out, though.
That would be the first step. And we're there now. Here goes Evans, knowing she's got a short shot clock. Stopped up, spins around. What a shot that would have been. Betancourt hits the deck.
I didn't see it, but it looks like it's on Hydra, which would be her second.
And she might have gotten a hand in there to trip her up. I'm not sure. We'll find out. No, I'm not sure about that one. But either way, foul's been called. It'll be first team foul and the second on Hydra. Turner in the corner, closed out well by Evans. She finds it at the high post, though. Rebound batted around into the hands of Ogot.
Very important for the Lions, if they make a defensive stop, not to give a second chance opportunity. Tough for Maya Hernandez to get down low position against Ejim.
Hydra can shoot the 3, looks it off there, though. Inside she goes, a bit too much.
Ogot lucky not to get called for over the back.
Ejim steps into a 3. Can't bury that one. Like you said, they'll let her shoot.
Yeah, but they have to get the rebounds, Brendan. This is where the damage has been done by Gonzaga on the glass, particularly with those offensive rebounds.
Ejim looking for position on that right block. Turner fires away. O-board for Connor, back up and in. It's just too easy when you let him get that O-board.
Yeah, and that's where the Lions are going to have to clean up. They want to stay in this one.
Hernandez kicking back out. Here goes Williams. Just cannot hit a shot right now, and you know she's frustrated with it as a knockdown shooter that she is. To see that many rim out is just not her style as Esther Little in transition Puts the Zags on a 6-0 run to start the second half.
She's going to start feeling the pressure. But speaking of pressure, Nadia Evans feels none.
Absolutely nothing. Fired up after that shot, knocks it down, ends the 6-0 run, and brings the Lions within 3.
And Brendan, remember, it was a 6-0 run to start the second quarter that put the Lions in a deficit. They responded. They're going to need to do the same here.
Betancourt, 15-footer, rims out.
Lions need to be smart with the basketball, pick and choose their opportunities.
Evans wants it, and she gets it.
That was one of those opportunities. She now has 20.
Can she be stopped? 21 points, 4 of 7 from downtown. She wants that 1,000 points, Gary.
Don't want Maya Hernandez getting a foul way out there.
She gets a block instead. The Gonzaga bench infuriated, wanting a foul on that. Hernandez works on Ejim and draws the foul.
I don't know whether Nadia Evans was giving that to Hernandez or trying to go cross-court to Williams. Either way, Hernandez gets it, and not only gets the foul, but it's against Ejim, which makes it 3 on Ejim.
Take a look again. Yeah, I don't know where that was going, but it ended up in the right hands, and Hernandez will go to the line. Struggling from the charity stripe this season, just 58% on it. We've seen her make some big ones, though. And a lead here would be big.
Brendan, I'm impressed again that quick 6-point run was answered by the Lions. And in prior games, we've seen them allow that to become 12. Instead, they now actually have the lead in this game.
They have not led for much, just mere seconds in this game. And now we'll start running the clock in their favor. 40-38, 6:30 to go in this third quarter with the lead in their hands.
Maya Hernandez on the bench, so Ami Siderud has the tough task of guarding Yvonne Ejim.
Turner fires a 3. Oh, what a sweet shot that was.
Turner was just way too open, Brendan. They can't give her that kind of space.
Evans taking this game over.
That was a bit of a heat check.
Zags back up by 1 after the 3 from Turner. Ejim still on the floor with those 3 fouls. Williams gets a hand in there and tips it out. It'll stay Zag basketball.
I think Allison Clark is back in the game with instructions, my guess, don't know for sure, to stick to Turner.
Ejim and O'Connor take a seat.
Or in this case, she'll be guarding Dalton. So it looks like Brandy Williams will have the task of sticking with Turner.
Turner with 13 points on 3 of 7 from downtown. Shakes off her defender there, over to Dalton.
Ejim's actually on the bench now, Brent. I didn't notice that.
She did take a seat there. Another one on Hydra. It's going to be 3 on Hydra, second team foul.
Sorry, Brent, didn't mean to interrupt. Salenbine's on the floor with 3 fouls.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to this point where we're going to have to see some players with foul trouble out there with shortened benches on both sides. Salenbine and Ejim, 2 bigs for this Gonzaga squad with Mont Hybens out. Evans comes up with the steal. Coast to coast with the left hand.
Really smart play to use the rim as a defender against the potential block.
23 points. Have a day, Nadia Evans. And we still got 5 to go in the third quarter. She needs 34 for 1,000 and a new career high. Dalton down baseline, reverse lay-in, not there.
And Brandy Williams collects the board, not allowing an offensive rebound.
Hernandez, the dump off, can't finish. Gets her on board. Back up, it's short.
Wow. Tough. Maya Hernandez looked like she might have had some contact. No call. Play on.
Turner. Good box out by Williams. Prevents that rebound from going into the hands.
Hopefully Brandy Williams is okay. Hard fall into our bench here, but if she can handle it, so can we.
She's back up and all right.
You want to be in the action? Sit courtside.
Yeah, apparently. Well, we'll check out the scorers table during this break. 4:35 to go. Lions up by 1. doing the work on the defensive end, and it's leading to rewards on the offensive end.
Absolutely, and look how she decides to go to her left to avoid the potential block. That kind of hustle is really defining the Lions' effort today and has them in the lead.
And look at how fired up she is after the play as well. You heard at halftime, Coach Hughes said she seemed to lose some of her swag at the start of this conference season. She's getting her confidence back. Today isn't a boost. I'm not sure what is. She looks more fired up than I think I might have seen her all season long.
Well, I think she saw something in their last outing on the road at Pacific. In the fourth quarter, she sort of took over and had them climb back into the game. She's brought that into this game, but Brent, every single Lion is contributing in one way or another.
Ejim back on the floor for the Zags. Clark, Evans, Hernandez, Siderud, and Ogot for the Lions. Dalton, O'Connor, Dolan, and Turner for the Zags.
Nadia Evans directing traffic. They got to go. 10 seconds left.
Evans, I think she wants the shot. Backing down Dalton. Tries to feed into Ogot, does, and Ogot just cannot get enough on it.
And Brent, I think that's 6 rebounds
It
for
is.
Yvonne Ejim.
Tied for the all-time leading rebounder in Gonzaga history, looking for the 7th.
Ogot doing a good job trying to stay with Turner.
Another mid-range J from Ejim, too long. O'Connor, the O board. And somehow that one rims out.
And that's a break for the Lions, giving up an offensive rebound and not turning into second chance points.
Siderud from the palm tree on the floor, not going to get there. Turner snags the board.
When Siderud gets it with any daylight, she will shoot it. Ogot having a tough time staying with Turner. All the screens Ejim is setting.
Turner had an open look. Oh, she takes this one, backs out for a 3, and right into a triple she goes. 44-42. Allie Turner lighting it up in Gersten.
But Brennan Hernandez got switched onto Turner and was kind of stuck, not knowing whether to go out or try and switch back onto Ejim. Turner made her pay. Any other game, Turner would be the high scorer, but Nadia Evans has something to say about it.
Clark can't get that triple to fall.
See if Ejim and Turner try and run the two-woman game here.
Ejim into double figures with 10 points. Looks to make it 13. Cannot there. She's got 62 straight games scoring in double figures.
Again, Lions will let her have that.
Hernandez, high post and a bucket. Knotted back up at 44.
Big bucket for Hernandez, 6 points, 6 rebounds on the game so far.
Breaks the Lions' scoring drought of 3 minutes. Gets a hand in there, no fouls called. Kenneth Nash looked like he maybe was going to give it to him. Turner pulls up for one and knocks it down. 18 points for Allie Turner. The freshman if I didn't know better, I think she was a fifth-year senior on this team.
Yeah, and their pick-and-roll game between Ejim and Turner is strong, and Lions can't get an answer yet. And part of it's because Hernandez doesn't want to leave Ejim, so it becomes difficult. Pick your poison.
Hernandez looked at another high post 2, this time drives in. Rebounds tipped into the hands of Turner, gets a hand in there late, no foul.
Clark has to stay on Turner now.
Whistle's blown down low. Looks like it's going to be a foul on Siderud. Jockeying for position there with Ejim.
So if Hydra's back in, Brent, I think you said she has 3 fouls, so we got to keep an eye on that.
She does. Hernandez and Evans take a seat, so really your offensive production is hitting the bench together right now, so we'll see if the Lions can keep that moving.
Coach Hughes coaching up Maya Hernandez, talking to her about how to handle that pick and roll.
Offensive foul drawn by the Lions. It's going to be on Esther Little.
And we've seen that before. When Brandy Williams is trying to get through a screen, the offensive player moves to try and prevent her from getting through. Foul called, going the Lions' way. It'll be up to Brandy Williams, Brendan, this last minute 30 to run the offense for the Lions.
Ogot with 2 points, Sitter with none, Hydra with none, Clark with 1 triple. Ogot make it 4 points.
And a great find by Brandy Williams to see the cutting Ogot and get it to her.
Sitter gives Ejim some space. Like you said, they're going to let her take those shots from the outside. Drive in and get fouled. It's going to be on Sitter, 2 quick fouls.
So one thing, Brendan, right now is with Turner on the bench, the Zags aren't doing that pick and roll game. That was Ejim just taking it on her own, and fortunate that Hydra wasn't called for the foul because she has 3.
Ejim coming off a career-high performance of 35 points at home against Portland in what has been and become the new rivalry in the WCC. I mean, you talked about it at the top. Ejim, the accolades, we wouldn't be able to list them all if we started at the top of this broadcast.
No, but let me give a few. 2024 Becky Hammond Player of the Year, 2024 WCC Player of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year. So she was running the WCC.
Still is, and I think much to a lot of people's surprise, you see a player like her come back to the college game. You thought maybe she'd try to go pro, played with the Canadian national team in the Olympics this season. She's been dedicated to this Gonzaga program since day one, and Lisa Fortier has certainly expressed her gratitude for that.
And I think she knows this is a special program that does special things, and she's a key to it.
Evans, foot on the line. They're going to say it's a 3. Going to fall short, though. Betancourt the board.
I think she got out of rhythm there. She paused, and it affected her shot. Zags looking to play for the last shot. Maya Hernandez needs to watch Ejim and not get a silly foul here.
Zags with a chance to make it a 2-possession game headed to the final quarter. 5 on the shot clock, taken away by Williams. Up and in, we're knotted up again at the end of a quarter. 48 all. 1 last quarter to go. Upset watch is on alert. Lions tied up, 48 all. 1 last quarter to go from Gerson Pavilion. All right, it all comes down to this. Final 10 minutes, basically 0-0. 48 all is the real score. Lions and Zags, the top of the conference, to right now the bottom, and the Lions putting on a show.
And specifically Nadia Evans, but as we saw, the others are contributing as well. Brandy Williams with a huge steal and bucket to send us to the 4th.
23 points from Evans, leads all scorers. Allie Turner right behind her with 18. Lions start off with things here in the final quarter. If you wanted drama in the WCC, you got it. Travels called on Hydra. She was looking for that 3 and just hesitated.
That's all right. Lions need to just regroup on the defensive end, and that energy cannot wane because you know Gonzaga is going to bring everything they have.
5-game winning streak on the line for the Zags, and more importantly, a 33-game winning streak against this LMU Lions squad. Last win coming February 7th, 2008, a 15-point victory here at LMU over the Zags.
Great defense by Ogot without fouling.
Around the screen goes O'Connor, stopped up by Hydra. Dalton with 3 on the shot clock, heaves one up, too much on it. O'Connor the board, Evans throws her hand in there, is able to get, it won't matter. Either way, shot clock violation before the held ball, send it back the Lions' way.
That hustle, Brendan, that intensity, everyone's bringing it. Hydra trying to block it, Nadia Evans getting her hands in there.
We talk about Hydra not necessarily being a big, but she does a great job disrupting shots down low.
But she's got length, she's 6'3", long arms. Really impressed with what she's brought to this Lions team.
Hernandez at the high post looking to drive on Ejim. Backs her down, goes up and is rejected. Ejim didn't even move.
No, and that's a veteran, 5th-year senior. Maya Hernandez, just a sophomore, but she's done really amazing work in her second campaign.
We talked about it in the open. This was the game we saw Maya Hernandez break out on. You never knew what you were going to see with a true freshman against a vet like Ejim, and she absolutely performed. Double-digit scoring, her career high at that point, since been obliterated. She's performing well here again today against Ejim.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a tough assignment. It's a valuable lesson for Maya Hernandez to watch Ejim play and try and control her as best she can underneath.
Turner, a three from the corner. Yes, ma'am.
And Ogat tried to close out, but if she has any space, she's been deadly. She's got 18 points already this game.
And it forces us and the Lions into a timeout. Early one, still 8:28 to go in this fourth quarter. Lions hanging on. If you're just joining us, first off, where you been? You missed a lot. We've had 6 ties in this game, 5 lead changes. Gonzaga's led for the majority of this game, but it really hasn't felt like that in this second half and really since the middle of the second quarter.
No, and it's been close, and there's a big battle brewing between Allie Turner and Nadia Evans, who are just shooting 50%, like lights out from 3 and from the field, and a turnover on Evans called for a travel there.
You're actually going to call an offensive foul.
Oh, my mistake. Who was it called on?
Looks like Hernandez. Potentially they're going to call it on Williams. Can't say I saw that one. Either way, Zags still lead by 3 early in this one, and they turn it right back over to the Lions. That has been a problem all day for the Zags.
Well, it really has. They have 12 turnovers. Lions have only 8. It's usually an area of weakness for the Lions. They're holding their own today.
And we usually see such fundamentally sound team in the Zags that turnovers are not an issue. This season averaging 18 a game.
It seems that the Zags don't yet have identified the true floor general, whereas the Lions, clearly Nadia Evans is their floor general. I think it seems like the Zags are doing it by committee.
Evans looking for her own shot, working on Dalton. Skies one up and one.
Wow, that was good defense by Dalton, but just better offense by the fired up Nadia Evans.
I mean, every bucket, every steal, every single possession, Nadia Evans is just on fire.
She got a little step, took the contact, followed through off the glass, has a chance to tie the game. 9
points from 1,000 career points. We came into this when I said she's going to get 300 assists. She's got to have a really special game to get to 1,000. Was 34 shy of it coming in today. She's only 9 away and maybe 8 after this.
Well, she is dialed in, and let's see if the Lions can hold serve on the defensive end. Turner has been doing most of the damage for Gonzaga. Brandy Williams has that assignment now. 7th
time we've been able to say it. We're all knotted up. 51-51. Dalton in the corner, dangerous. Offensive board by Little, and a foul's called. I think it's going to be on Evans.
Wow. Evans tried to make up for what the Lions have struggled with this game, which is not allowing offensive rebounds. Esther Little has been very good on the glass, 9 rebounds, although she had, I think, about 8 at the end of the first half. So has been held in check pretty much in the second half.
Had to step into some big shoes and fill the starting role at Mott Hybens. Had to vacate with an injury. Obviously, Little has been in a starting role plenty of times, including many times this season. But now, Ejim fires it too. That one rims out. Who's there? Esther Little. Another opportunity for the Zags. Ejim kick back out. Turner looks off the 3.
Good job by Ogat in covering Turner, not letting her get a free look.
5 on the shot clock. A rolling Ejim dumps off Little. What a find by Ejim on the roll.
And that's what we're used to seeing from Gonzaga, the crisp passing, offensive efficiency.
53-51. This one's going to come down to the wire. Williams wanted that 3, won't take it.
I think she will if she gets another opening.
5 on the shot clock. Evans fires away. Too much. shot clock violation. That one never hit the rim.
A little late in the shot clock. Ogat with a good effort on the glass, but it doesn't count because of the shot clock violation.
Ejim still in search of that 7th rebound to get to the all-time leading rebounder in Gonzaga history. O'Connor a 3, buries it.
Wow, ice in her veins on that shot by O'Connor.
56-51. Evans coast to coast through contact. Oh my gosh.
There's nothing she can't do today.
6 points from 1,000. Records brewing on both ends of the floor.
Good recovery by Ogat. Brandy Williams thought about going for the steal, wisely stays with Turner.
Nato looking to drive and find Ejim. Cannot on that one.
Hernandez holding her own.
Turner to the cup and in.
You can't play good defense for 26 seconds, Brent. It has to be the full 30.
58-53. Can Evans get another one? Williams catch fire.
That was in and out, Brent. No friendly home bounce for Brandy Williams. Gonzaga slowing it down. No need for them to rush with a 5-point advantage. You hear Ejim calling for it, Brendan, at the high post.
Salenbine a 3, off the mark. Gets her own board, back up, offensive foul. Carly Hydra draws it.
And the Gonzaga bench can't believe it.
Lisa Fortier beside herself. Zags up by 5, 4.5 to go. And welcome back to Gersten Pavilion. Just saw a little bit of history. Yvonne Ejim, off the miss from Brandy Williams, snags her 984th career rebound. Ejim, on a rebounding throne of her own, now sits atop the record book as the all-time leading rebounder in Gonzaga history.
Well, hats off to her, because it is no easy feat to collect almost 1,000 rebounds, and she's certainly in position to do that. Already the all-time record holder now. It's a privilege to watch her play.
And certainly by the end of the season will be the all-time leading scorer in Gonzaga women's basketball history, a storied history. So to be sitting atop that program in multiple categories is truly incredible.
Big possession here for the Lions, down 5. They need to get something going offensively.
It'll be a foul down low off the ball.
That's Salenbine, that might be it.
It is going to be Salenbine, and that will be it.
So, Brendan, I just mentioned it, but let's set the stage here. It's 4:10 left. Lions down 5. They've really got to make sure that they make every possession count.
And they're going to get a sub in there for Salenbine now. Taking their time to find it. It's going to be McKinley Dowling. Allison Clark, Amelie Sideru take a seat as well. So the Zags stretched thin at the bigs position even more than they were coming into this one. Salenbine done for the afternoon, and an offensive foul. It's going to be on Maya Hernandez, not what the Lions needed.
No, I know she was trying to set a screen to free up a shooter. Gets called for the foul.
Second personal, third team foul. Got to give Maya credit. Only 2 fouls, and one of them being an offensive one right there. And she's battling someone like Ejim all day.
Yeah, and the best way she can answer that is by playing that strong defense she's been playing all game.
Here goes Ejim. Not going to fall there. Gets her own board. Make it 985. O'Connor tried to get the timely 3. That one batted off the hands of Ejim and out.
Lions playing a dangerous game, allowing so many offensive rebounds. Gonzaga has at least 16 by my count, but has only managed 14 points off of those. So that's been really the way the Lions have stayed in this, despite giving up those rebounds.
Like a little miscommunication on the Lions' end. Nadia Evans, she knows what she needs to do. Stopped up by Dalton. It'll be, they're going to say off the hand of Dalton, I guess. Dalton's shocked by it.
Wonder if they're going to want to take a look at this. No?
Nope, they're going to say it went off the hand of 10. Kenneth Nash says that's what the call from Johnny Mendez was, and that's what it's going to stay as.
Got to get the ball in.
High lob off the hand of Ejim. Hyder cleans it up. 10 on the shot clock.
Lucky.
Evans, a bump. The pull-up. And a foul down low on the rebound.
That's Hyder. That'll be 4.
That is Hyder. They're going to say they got her in the head. 4th personal, 4th team foul. So Lions just 1 foul short of sending the Zags to the line for the rest of this game. Can ill afford free points.
Scoring drought for both teams now exceeding 2 minutes. Williams, good defense on Turner.
Allie Turner around Williams off the glass and the rebound by Ogat.
Big rebound by Zawadi Ogat.
Still a 5-point deficit for the Lions, 2:50 to go. Evans looks to change it. Not there. Ogat did have the board off her foot and going back to Gonzaga.
Evans expects that shot to go in, as I think she expects every shot to go in, especially a game like today.
She's taken 21 shots, Gary. 10 of 21, 4 of 10 from downtown. Certainly a few of those heat checks, but at one point, clocking in at 50% from the field.
Yeah, and Turner's been matching her too, Brendan. She's 50% from the field and from 3 for her 23 points.
Ejim dump off. Little finishes.
It's tough for the Lions now, down 7. They've bounced back before. They're going to need everything they got to do it this time.
Hyder looked off the 3. Inside she goes. Stopped up by Little and into the hands of Turner.
Big block by Little. She's got 8 points and 11 rebounds on this game so far. What a weapon to be able to go into Ejim.
Their surefire bucket gets another. Counted in the foul, Yvonne Ejim. Just doing what Yvonne Ejim does.
And, you know, really she's been, for her, quiet this game. I think we'll see a replay here. Hernandez tries her best. Got her maybe on the arm. Hard to see the contact from that angle, but doesn't matter because Ejim's at the line, extending the lead to 10. The Lions were neck and neck for much of this game, Brendan, and each time Gonzaga got a lead, the Lions answered, and now they may be running out of time to come up with another answer.
Biggest lead was 10 for this Gonzaga team. They've matched it here now. Still time to go, 1:45. You got Nadia Evans on your side, you got a chance. Backdoor cut by Williams. They're going to call a block on Taylor Dalton.
Good job being aggressive. Brandy Williams cutting, getting the pass from Evans and taking it strong, absorbing the contact.
14 foul on the Zags. One more and the Lions are at the line for the remainder of this game. Zags will be at the line for the remainder of the game if there's another foul on the Lions.
Brendan, this is an unfortunate time for the Lions to go into a scoring drought. It's been 4 minutes since they scored. They're going to need a quick bucket here and a quick steal if they want to have a chance to get back into this with 10 points down and 1:43.
Lions' best scoring run on the night was 8. They're going to need to best that here in the final 1:43 to have a chance. Evans heaves one up.
Big rebound.
And off the leg of Williams. They're going to take a look at that just to make sure.
Yeah, stakes are high. Zags really have a pretty comfortable lead, but this has been a game where the Lions have fought back every time, so I don't think the Zags are going to take anything for granted.
And you asked me after that game at Pacific as Johnny Mendez comes over to let us know what they're going to look at. So as you might have heard, they're going to look to see who touched that ball last. Ruling on the floor is Gonzaga basketball. Off a couple hands, off of Little, off of Williams, off of Little, off of Williams. I think that call is going to stand, but I mean, it went back and forth. We talk about how this game's gone back and forth. That ball went back and forth at least 4 times.
Well, and we were looking at it in slow motion, Brendan. So, you know, I obviously, you know, am sometimes critical of calls, and that's what my job is as a commentator. But the refs don't get enough credit for what they're able to do. You see, I'm going to ignore that. In watching it in real time, I think that's going to end up being a call that stands based on all the various hands that the ball touched. It did look like it was out of bounds last off of Williams, but we'll see what they can find from the replay.
Either way, this is a 10-point game, 1:36 to go. If the Lions get the chance at another possession here, it leaves that door open.
Well,
boy,
Brett,
would this be a win.
Well, it would be a win, and, you know, the Lions can take a lot of positive things from this game, even if they don't win, but this is not the time for moral victories. When you have a team like Gonzaga in your sights after 33 consecutive losses, you need to close that deal, and the Lions are really going to have their work cut out for them to do that. What I will say, though, is this is the first of 4 consecutive home games over the total of 8 days. If this doesn't give them the roadmap for what they need to do in their next 3 home games, then nothing will. And what I'm pointing to is the energy, Brendan. That's been the key to me in this game, is their energy playing against a very skilled Gonzaga squad.
And they're going to keep it Gonzaga basketball.
The call on the court is confirmed, blue ball.
Well, it is confirmed. Kenneth Nash, Johnny Mendez, and Maggie Dewall getting a good look at that one. Fantastic officiating crew here today, and we appreciate all they do for us over on the broadcast table. It helps us get you the correct information. We don't like to guess.
Brendan, a quick note, Hydra has 4 fouls. She's a player that they rely on for shooting outside to try and come back in this, so she's not going to be the one to create the fouls to stop the clock.
And man, she's got 0 points today, certainly giving some of those opportunities up to Nadia Evans with 28. But if we had seen a few Hydra buckets fall, this one could be a much different story at this point, as Amelie Sitterud is going to be called for the hand check foul.
You know, I know there's some frustration about that getting called, but the reality is the Lions need to stop the clock. So they have to take a chance here and hope that there's some missed free throws which give them the opportunity to get the ball back while the clock is stopped.
And Ejim at the line, not perfect by any means, but 75, nearly 76% from the stripe is certainly a clip the Lions don't want to be sending there, but they're going to nonetheless. And the Zags on a 12-2 run in the last 5 minutes, 7-0 in the last 4. I was wondering when we'd see Gonzaga really do what we know Gonzaga to do and lock things down and shut the Lions out. It took them until the final few minutes, but right now they're doing it. I was wondering when we'd see Gonzaga really do what we know Gonzaga to do and lock things down and shut the Lions out. It took them until the final few minutes, but right now they're doing what they usually do. 2 points from Ejim makes it a 12-point lead.
And interestingly, the Zags come out of full court press. Lions weren't prepared for it. Brendan, the other thing is, we've talked about this, some fatigue might have set in for the Lions. As hard as they've worked all game, towards the end here, they may have run out of a little bit of gas.
Well, and you saw shots that were falling for Evans, with no doubt, just have not been able to drop. Sitterud, logo 3, knocks it down.
That's what she does, Brendan. Now they have to immediately steal or foul. They can't afford to let the clock continue to run.
That clock is ticking away. Ticking away. Still haven't gotten a foul in.
Maybe they didn't decide to foul. I'm not sure. I would have thought they would have fouled to give themselves some hope.
And this just about seals the deal. And that will shut the door. Yvonne Ejim, poignant with the bucket. 19 points. Another hand check foul this time on O'Connor. The Lions going to the charity stripe, stopping the clock. A good way to get some points with that clock stop, but it's going to be too little, too late at this point, I would think.
There we see Clark trying to drive to the hoop. Brendan, it's a big day for WCC action, and we're going to be back here in a few days on Monday.
On Monday. Turn it right around. Got San Diego in the rescheduled matchup from a couple weeks ago, and right now they are down by 3 at home to Pepperdine. If San Diego falls in that one, it is going to be the battle of 2 winless teams in WCC play. Someone's going to go home with their first conference victory if this score holds down south.
And Brendan, certainly the Lions want to get that first dub, change the trajectory of their season, and they can do it with 3 games here at home coming up after this one.
They can, and Gonzaga's going to continue their winning streak, and big thanks to big freshman, number 11, Allie Turner.
Well, you said it, Brendan. She does not play like a freshman. You cannot give her space, and there were too many occasions when the Lions left her wide open, and then there were others where she just flat out broke the defense off a screen and got good looks that she knocked down.
And the crazy thing about Allie Turner, and you can hear this on the Points in the Paint podcast with Ann Schatz and Mary Murphy, but when Coach Fortier talked to them about Allie Turner, they talked about how, you don't always, it's not always conventional the way you recruit folks, but they found Allie Turner while watching a tournament in Chicago on the backcourt. We're looking at 2 other players that happened to be on the same team as Turner. Turner wasn't even on their radar. Saw her, she had an absolute incredible game, and look where she is now, here on the bluff in a Zags uniform. Quite the story on how Allie Turner has become the go-to point guard, filling in some big shoes in the Trong Twins exit from Gonzaga.
Yeah, and she doesn't strike me as a traditional point guard. She strikes me more as a 2 guard, which is why I was saying they were looking for someone to, be their floor general, but she's doing it in all aspects of the game today.
She's assumed the role. Taylor Dalton looks to cap things off with a bucket. She will. 69-58 will be the final score here unless Nadia Evans heaves one up. She won't. And that will close things out. Boy, it was a fun one. Knotted up until the final moments. What a battle from the LMU Lions. If this doesn't teach them something about what they can do, I'm not sure what's going to.
I agree, Brendan. And, you got to look at this as a harsh lesson because they had a chance to win, but Gonzaga hasn't won the last 33 in a row for nothing. They really came on strong at the end when it was needed, and that's what the Lions are going to need to do, and hopefully they'll do it on Monday in a really must-win game to try and right the ship for this season.
Hats off to Gonzaga. Hats off to Lisa Fortier. We send our love and strength to her as she continues her battle with breast cancer and the fight the rest of the season she has on the sidelines with the Zags. Lions will continue to search for their first win in conference play, and they'll have a chance on Monday against the Toreros. Final thoughts, Gary, before we send it out back in a couple days.
Again, thoughts and prayers to everybody who's been affected. We're glad we could spend this time with you. We're going to be back on Monday, and the Lions' energy is going to keep it going.
And that's going to wrap things up. It's been a presentation of LMU Women's Basketball, Game On Entertainment, and the WCC on ESPN+. On behalf of our entire team, our producer, Sarah King, executive producer, Noah Dykelum, director, Alexa Chavez, silent reporter, Maddie Considine, partner in crime, Gary Craig. I'm Brendan Craig, saying so long from the Bluff. Lions fall 69-58. You know what? Still a great day in LA. We'll see you next time.